Hey guys, Alex here, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the CoachWay application. So inside this video we're going to break down how this really stacks up against the other online coaching and personal training applications out there on the marketplace. But what I can tell you is this has some extremely powerful features that can really speed up the operations of running an online coaching or online fitness business. And inside of this video, we're going to be diving into the main features: the meal planner, the workout builder, client progress and tracking, the CRM system, also client check-in forms, automations, and the client experience and client app. And so by the end of this video, you're going to have a really clear picture of whether this particular application is a good fit for you. And if you click the first link in the description, there's going to be an opportunity to book a custom demo with the team at CoachWay, where they can walk you through the application in more depth. Now, you'll see on my screen that things may at times look a little bit compressed, and that's just because of the screen recording tool that I'm using to make it more watchable and engaging. But on your screen, when it opens up, it's going to be full width, it's going to be clean, and it's going to be easy to see everything all in one place. So one of the things that I really want to highlight that I like about this application is the user interface and really the view, right? So if we click over here to clients, you can see we've got the client section here open. And if we click this button here, this expands so you can see a full kind of list to make it easy for you to navigate. But with the click of a button, you can close that if you wanted to. So if we open it up and then we click this button, this is going to open up the last message with the client, right? Which is fantastic. But we can also have a list of clients here, and we can flick through messages really quickly. We can flick through the different tabs that we need very quickly. And if we don't want this open, we can also close it, and we can also close this. So the user interface is very clean and is also very easy to navigate. And if we wanted to do like bulk actions to clients, then we've got options here to broadcast or assign automations, or maybe even recharge clients if their payments are due. And it just makes it really easy to navigate with these simple clicks of a button. So let's take a look at the nutrition features of this application. Now, if we go into the client level, click into nutrition, and if we click on create new plan, you can see here that we can give it a title. We can play around with things like the calories, so let's say 2,500. We can select number of meals, let's say 5. We've got a macro split here already set up for us, but we can do a custom macro split if we wanted to, and we could change the basically percentages. And then you can see here we've got some further customization as well when it comes to these like other elements. We can add custom meals in here. And then this is what I really like, because this is going to speed up the process of creating these plans, is you can select veggie or vegan or low carb, and you can unselect other things, but you can mix and match. And then also if someone's maybe got a nut allergy, you can include that. And then you don't have to scan individually through all the meal plans to check whether you've selected the right things. It's going to do it for us. So we're going to hit create. And then this is basically going to produce this plan here for us. Okay, so now we've got this plan here. We've got the calories, we've got the macros broken down. We can add additional meals if we wanted to. So we can search from the recipe pack and we can choose a specific meal. If we come back here and we go to edit plan, we can essentially come here and we can edit any of these if we wanted to. So you can see here that you've got ingredients that you can add. You've also got these different elements that you can adjust there if you wanted to, or even get rid of certain things out of the recipe. And you can do that for each individual meal as well, which is really, really nice. And then if we hit publish, this is now going to be available in the client's account. So I'm just going to go back here. You'll see nutrition here. You'll see Jamie's meal plan, and this will be available. Now, actions. What you can do is you can save this as a template, okay? And you could just name it something like a vegan plan, okay? And then what you can do when you come to creating a new nutrition plan on, let's say, another client, you can just use that as a base plan. Okay, so that just allows you to really speed up the process of building out these plans, because you're never having to build from scratch again, which instead of spending 45 minutes to an hour creating a plan, you could do that in 5 minutes, because you could just duplicate an existing client's plan, and then you could maybe tweak the different elements of it just to make sure that you don't include nuts with just a couple of clicks, which is super cool. Now, if we click into meal plan here, you'll see this is the meal plan that I just created at the client level. And so we can build templates out here from scratch if we wanted to, and we can then have like a database essentially of our own to assign to clients as they come through. We can also add our own ingredients. So if we wanted to come in here and add specific things that are maybe not included in the platform already, then we've got the option to do that as well, which is really nice. And then equally, we can create recipes from scratch. So we can come in here and we can literally build an entire recipe. So from a nutritional standpoint, we've got all the functions we need to be able to deliver really custom plans to our specification. Now, another great feature is the drag and drop system. So really simple to use. We can essentially drag and drop items in here, and we can scale the portions to make sure that the portions are going to match the plan. Or we can keep the original portions. So we'll go scale portions. And then essentially we can come in here and we can apply other filters. So let's say we want veggie options. Okay. That's now going to sort the vegetarian options. Equally, if we just wanted to show our own recipes, we could click that as well. But just really simple to be able to just drag and drop here for speed and efficiency. So one of the most impressive features about this application is the user interface. So if we click on inbox and we come into Jamie here, you can see that the message here has popped up with Jamie. If we zoom in, right, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. And then if we click on show client, we can also pull up the client data here as well, right, which is awesome. We can flick through all these screens without losing the messaging section here. And then we can have a list of all clients as well in here as well that we can flick through really quick and really easily. And whilst we've got the messaging up here, and we've also got the data and all the different tabs, we can also just come in here and do a video check-in if we wanted to at the same time. So without leaving this message, without leaving here, and whilst being able to record at the same time, you can essentially operate super quickly with this application, which is a feature I've not seen with other applications, where you can have kind of this level of customization of the view, but also have everything like all in one place here and do all these different things at the same time, where I could just be sending messages, sending videos, flicking through clients, coming over here, flicking through tabs. I can open up this window. I can shrink that window down just to make my view a little bit easier. And so everything is really neat and clean, but also visible all in one place to operate really, really quickly. So let's take a look at the workout programming options here and the features. So if we come into the client level and let's click on Jamie, let's go to workouts and we go to create workout program. We'll just call this test. We can obviously put in a description, image, and then we've just got some default values here that we can essentially use or change. So we're going to hit continue, and then essentially we're going to create a session, and I'm just going to call this test. Okay. And then it's just a simple drag and drop system here that we've got. So like so. And then we can search for things as well. So if I type in back, then it's just going to assort all the different exercises. There's around 600 different exercises in the library. And then essentially what we can do is we can choose from various different customization features here. So we can add an alternative, which is a really nice feature. So if this is not available, a client can use something else in the gym. We can add a superset if we wanted to. We can also add a drop set if we wanted to do that too. We can change the set type, so weight and reps, or rep range and weight, or AMRAP and weight. So let's just click that and you can see how it changes it. And then we can just move things around really, really easily. Okay, so this is super simple and easy to use. If we click save, then that's going to appear here. And we can essentially save this now as a template. And then that can be essentially assigned to clients really quickly when it comes to taking on new clients, which is obviously going to speed up the process really nicely. Now, if we came down here to exercises, we can essentially add in our own exercises as well. So you can obviously search, and if there's maybe something missing, you can come in here and you can put in your own. So we'll put test, and we can upload a video, or if you want to host it on YouTube and then link it there, or maybe even use someone else's, you can do that. or you can just upload the actual video and image here. You go next, and then you've got these other different customization features that you can essentially use, and then you can create your own exercises in the platform as well if you needed something that maybe wasn't in the platform right now. So let's go a bit deeper into the client dashboard. So if we get rid of that, we go to the overview section here. You can essentially see all the kind of key information that you would want to see on a client dashboard. You can see messaging trends, check-in trends, etc., which is really useful. And then essentially you've got tasks, so you can stay super organized here and set up tasks with due dates. You can put in client notes here, which is really easy. You can obviously go into the info section here and check some key information, and then just easily open up the chat window here so that you can chat with the client and really just keep everything nice and neat in one place whilst you flick through all the different tabs that you've got available here, which is really, really nice, because on a lot of these personal training apps, you've got to flick in and out of the messaging feature, whereas here, you can just keep it all in one place. Some other stuff you can actually do is you can come in here and go into the client settings using this cog, and you can essentially disable things if you wanted to. If you wanted to hide the chat feature, you don't want to chat to your clients, you can take that off. If you wanted to hide weight information, just because maybe you're dealing with sensitive clients, hide nutrition information, etc. And you can really customize how this app functions to your liking, which is really, really neat if you're dealing with a really high volume of clients. So if we click on the client section and go into this client dashboard under development, you can see here the latest check-in pops up, which is really neat. So we can click mark as read, and then we can see essentially the inputs pulling through here. We can see the responses, we can see the weight change, we can see the progress photos, and then if we scroll down, we can scan through the different metrics here depending on kind of what we've requested. For example, this you'll see it on a graph. You'll also see circumference, and then the last check-in, all time, and then some other key kind of pieces of information here as well, which is really neat and really nice. So this is what the client app looks like. So you see we've got progress at the top here, we've got steps, we've got the latest workout, and we've also got some meal plan data here. And then down the bottom panel, we've got chat, nutrition, workouts, and some profile settings, which I'll get into. Now in the chat section here, you can see there's been a bit of back and forth, and it's really simple. Click on this if you want to send maybe an image or a video. Open the camera if you want to do something live, or if you want to record a voice note and send that, and then those can all be received as well. So videos can be received, voice notes can be received from the coach as well. So really nice, really clean, very easy to navigate. And then if we go to nutrition, so that's going to pull up this screen. If we click on Jamie's plan, you're going to see here we're going to have the macro breakdown at the top and the calorie breakdown at the top, and then we've got the different meals here. If we click into a meal, you're going to see the cook time at the top, you're going to see the nutrients here, okay, you're going to see the macros, and you're also going to see the ingredients. And then if we scroll down, you're also going to see the instructions here. So really nice and simple, easy to navigate. Then we got the workout section here. So you can see we've got multiple workouts in here, and we're going to click on this chest one. Okay. So if we come into this one, we can just preview stuff if we wanted to. We can look at history from previous workouts, charts here as well from previous workouts as well. So nice history and data tracking, any notes that were put in previously. If we come back and we go to start workout, you'll see we've got a timer here at the top that will commence, and you can see the different exercises here. Now all these fields can be edited, so we can come in here and we could type in 11, we can come in here and type 60, and then we can tick it off, and then we'll move on to the next set. Essentially, we can also add a set here, and if we click on this button here, there's obviously the video which we can open up and expand. We've got notes here, so you can see I put in a note here. and you can just add additional notes, and you can obviously check the history and the charts as well. And you'll see there's a timer down the bottom. We can skip the timer if we don't want it. And then you'll see this button here. So this button is an alternative workout. So if we click on that, there's an alternative that's been loaded in here. So that gives the clients the option to essentially go on to a different exercise if the one they're trying to do is maybe occupied in the gym. If we go to complete workout and go finish, then it's going to open up this screen. So we'll just fill this out and we'll click on this and go text. And then once this has been done and we go complete, and then the coach will get notified that the workout has been complete. So if we go to profile here, we've got some additional settings. We scroll down and we click on languages. We can essentially change the language based on preferences as well, which is a nice feature. So let's take a look at the form section. So inside the form section here, we can essentially go new form, or we can use one of the templates that's already been created. So if we click on new form and we go to check-in form, we'll just call this test, and we'll open this up. And then essentially it's a really nice drag and drop system. So you can see here, we can just drag in whatever we want, and then we can remove things that we want as well. Okay. You've also got options here in the drop down. So plenty of customization. We can throw in stuff like progress photos, and you can see here, again, we can just delete things if we wanted to, or completely remove the field altogether. And then if we pull in, let's say, the smiley ratings, this is going to be something that you can also customize: sleep, progress, nutrition, energy, moods. You can also put in multiple choice questions, and also just text questions as well. So if we scroll down here, we can just fully customize this to our liking. So whatever you want to get your clients to report, you can get that done here. And then that will essentially pull into the client dashboard. So if you're looking to save time, then this next feature is for you. So if we come into the automation section and click new automation, you've essentially got a very customizable automation process here, one of the best I've seen. So we can obviously customize things here. We can do it manually or by tag. So if we set up a custom tag, everyone that gets tagged will hit this automation essentially. And then we can trigger it by payment date or coaching start date or onboarding form completed, etc., which is really nice. And then we've got the option to either add a text message or a document, maybe even a video, or equally we could add an audio file. And you can see here that we can set it to smart sends or review first. We can set a specific time, and we've got some other little features here that we can use to really make this automation very sophisticated. So one of the better automation tools that I've seen from a personal training app. So one of the features that you don't typically see in personal training apps is any business development tools, and this is what CoachWay actually have that others don't. So you can actually get the team to create a lead form for you, where they would essentially connect it to your application. This would pull through leads from, let's say, your website, social media, and essentially allow you to track and manage leads with your team members. So you can see we've got a lead in here. And if we just open up this lead for a second, you can see that we've got some basic information, but we can assign it, right? Let's say to a closer or a sales development rep. So if you've got a team, and then you've essentially got a follow-up date here as well. Now, if we just come out of this view for a second, we can add leads manually if we wanted to, which is super easy. We can also customize the types of things that we want to capture when it comes to leads. And then we've also got a pipeline here as well. So let's just say we click on David Crawford here. We can change the status. We can move it to contacted, and we can move it through the pipeline. And then it's also going to pull through kind of your conversion metrics as well. Now, another nice feature is if you click on the three dots here and go to edit, you can put in follow-up reminders. So if we select, let's say the 13th of January, hit save. And then another feature we've got is notes. So we can put in whatever we want here just to stay organized and keep track of what's going on with the leads, especially if you've got like multiple team members and you just want to make sure that everything is being logged and tracked in one place. So really nice feature. So CoachWay offers some customization as well. So if we come into the settings section, click on app, you can see here that we can change the header image, we can change the app icon, we can change the colors. So the primary colors, let's change that to blue, and you'll see how it gets updated on the client app. Equally here, if we change that to green, you can see how it's reflected over here. We can also integrate with Stripe for easy payment processing. There's tags as well here, so if you want to leverage the automation tools like we discussed, then you can use the tags here to essentially tag different clients as they come through to trigger automations. We then have roles that we can create. So if you've got team, so coaches, you've got VAs like virtual assistants or sales reps, you can obviously add those roles in, and then you can add users in here as well to give your team members access to the app. So for bigger businesses, this is perfect. So what are my feelings? Well, after reviewing this application, it's definitely not the cheapest app out there. There's definitely cheaper options. It's one of the more expensive ones, but this is not for every online coach or every business. This is for people who are looking to operate very quickly, very efficiently, build a big business, work with maybe team members in tandem to really make sure that they've got an app that can keep up with the speed and pace and client load that they want to operate with. And so if that's you, if you're looking to scale a bigger online coaching business, or maybe you are already in that category where you've got 10, 20, 30 clients already and you want to scale to 50 or 100 clients or maybe even more, and you need something that can really keep up with the speeds that you need to operate at that level, then this would be a fantastic option for you. And I'm going to leave a link in the description if you did want to reach out and book a custom demo with the team where they can walk through everything that they offer and the different plans available and answer any questions that you do have.